how often is it a feeling about the object, and how often is it that it looks cool, that there's a visual aspect to it?
Well, I think there's always a visual aspect to it, and there's some stuff that really doesn't appeal to me. I mean, you know, like broken sharks with rubber tire. I don't know. I see them a lot, and they don't appeal to me. Which isn't to say that, you know, a year from now that won't change. Sometimes a piece will hit me so strongly that the whole piece will jump from that. So, this piece that's right there on the wall, there's this weird thing with string around it that I don't remember where I found it, but I don't know what it's for. I think it may be for somebody who does leather work, but it has a knob for holding on to. It's got a dado in for holding string. And when you unscrew the top, there's all these little tools inside, which I've released and put that at the bottom of the plate piece. I saw that piece, it was like everything else came from that. So a lot of times just one object. So with a lot of these pieces, some of them have a ton of found objects in them, or to me they're all kind of related to. Sometimes there's only one found object in them. So in this case there's only one found object, the rest I've made. So there's that kind of fine line too between what you've made and what you've found, and what you've altered and what you've allowed to be the same. So I don't know if that.
Can I follow up?
Please.
Do you have formal training with you know, design and everything? And
you know, I went to a college full of drunks and lounge to supposedly Bard College in New York State. Which isn't to say that I didn't learn some stuff there. It could have been a little bit more. I think a lot of people were tenured. Sleep at the wheel. So there really was no technical training in the design classes. I mean, really the schooling was sort of like, you know, they were all coming out of the New York schools sort of expressionist painting, so it was like, if you feel it, it's good. But beyond that, I wish there had been a little bit more.
So you mentioned like one piece a year, and so you do other things, I imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, my wife and I have a retail store here in town, which is one job, and I've worked for many years at a wood shop out in Springfield. And often have renovating a house out in Cheshire, so often have a lot of things juggled, which for me, a lot of them, like the woodworking thing, is, you know, I love it because there is a creative process and I'm working with my hands all the time, and it allows me to find an awful lot of really nice scrap wood. And you know, part of it is that I've been afraid to really allow myself more time to do the art, because like everybody else, you get to a certain age and you start worrying about practical things like money, you know, and where's that coming from? So, you know, how do you juggle those things? And I knew for myself that I don't really do well unless something is whipping me from outside. And so to get the show with a deadline, it's like, well, you got no choice, and you can't wait 6 months before you start. So, you know, the past year and a half has really been kind of a blast. You should put a hat out here and pour us a buffer. But I'm happy.
Certain objects and their kinetic aspects or whatever. Have you ever, and maybe this is sort of playing off the question, ever really felt sort of, an energetic of some sort from an object, but whoa, there's a big story here that I am not manipulating, but listening to that it kind of move your gut. You know, when you're dealing with old stuff,
I would say
that aspect.
all the time, and that to me is like, again that sense of that, like patina of time, that kind of sense of communal experience that we have with these old objects. That, I mean, they radiate, and to me they're very alive. And you know, when I grab that New Orleans ball, you know, then on the other hand, I feel very badly sometimes when I make mistakes. So like, don't take one of these beautiful things and be putting silver leaf on it. I mean, that was just a disaster. You know, so then I feel like I've taken this thing that really resonated and I've just kicked it to the curb. it's kind of like, this is sort of what happens when I close my eyes. All right, and thanks everybody for coming.